Did you know that RuPaul became the first drag queen, and is currently still the only, to receive a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame? Hey, you're watching Up to Speed with David, the show that brings you cool conversations with people who are killing it in their industries, like the television host I'm sitting with today. And of course, there's always a little more to chat about after the interview, so stay till the very end. Let's get you up to speed. An Emmy winner, a GLAAD Award nominee, a man with more energy than a double espresso, who, for the record, does not drink coffee. He's the co-host and executive producer of NBC Chicago's Chicago Today, the face of Matt in the Morning, and a storyteller who isn't afraid to ask questions. You might have seen him on the Today Show or chatting it up with Kelly Clarkson, and chances are you might remember him for his perfectly tailored suits, his coiffed hair, and his infectious personality. From viral moments like Christmas in a Cup to deeply poignant conversations that bridge gaps and build understanding, he brings humor, honesty, and humanity to everything he touches. It's an absolute joy to get the chance to get up to speed with my friend, Matt Rodrigues.
Okay. Christmas in a cup, made the cut. Come on,
it's
now.
My favorite. You know we're going to talk about it.
It's my, it's a thing, and I just the fact that it made it into the intro is really ridiculous, and I respect you for it.
It's just so good. We'll talk about it, but I want to start with it's okay to ask questions. So I've seen it top to bottom, and it is such a warm and welcoming space. What I really enjoy about it is that you are highlighting people without putting them in a spotlight or making them feel like they're on the spot. Where did the show come from? Where did the series, how did it come to life?
So it was really, it was Matt Knudsen, who I work in Chicago. I'm based here in Chicago, and I work for NBC, and he had joined our team, and he was new and like came to me and brought me in his office one day, and he was like, we should be using you more. And, you don't hear that when you're in this business. A lot of people don't come up to you and like present you with ideas or opportunities. You really, as you know, have to fight for it. And you have to say, hey, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. And at first we were just starting with the idea of like, let's do a local Pride show. Let's do some interviews with some people in Chicago, and maybe we'll do a little Pride special here in Chicago that'll hit the TV on like, Saturday morning at 7 a.m. or something. And then slowly, as I started to build out the roster, we got Shea Coulee that first season, and Justin Tranter, who is like a mega song producer, and many others. We were able to create this show that felt a little bigger than just the Chicago market. And NBC has all these streaming channels. So they have one for Chicago and for Boston and all the different affiliates they own across the country. And we were able to put the show on there. So it ended up becoming this national show, and it had a great response. And we turned them into like half-hour episodes because we were doing these interviews, and we're like, this can't just be a 5-minute interview. It should be longer and grow. And but going back to the name itself, Matt was like, you need to do this Pride special. And I was like, well, I don't feel like I'm the right guy. Like, I don't feel, and I even said like gay enough. And I was like, whatever that means, there's no such thing.
I get it. I totally get it.
Right? Where you're like, I'm given this opportunity. I'm a part of this community, but I'm like, I don't feel like I'm the one to be the spokesperson. But that was the best reason for me to be the one at the front of the show, because I just wanted to be able to say, it's okay to ask questions. And that's where the title came from. And it built. And that first season, we got nominated for a GLAAD Award. And then the second season, we got nominated for a GLAAD Award. And then this third season, we got nominated too. And we did this incredible episode with Andrea Gibson, who was a world-renowned poet who passed away. But there also happens to be this documentary about them that was just nominated for an Oscar. Andrea was such a powerful person that her light shined on our show. So I'm literally, right before I got on this Zoom with you, I was talking to Peacock about the idea of doing a fourth season, and we're working on
Oh,
it. I feel like we can, and it's not like a no, or it's just a matter of if our team can make it happen this year, and in what way, if we want to change it up at all. But it's been a blessing to my life, absolutely.
I hope so because like I told you, I've watched it from top to bottom and I loved it. And one of the things that really stood out for me was watching your range as a host because you could watch the Rosie O'Donnell episode and there's like this fangirl moment and this like admiration for her.
My
And
favorite, I
it,
love her.
oh, the energy was like up and so high. And then there's the Andrea Gibson episode, and you were so reserved and quiet in that space. What has this experience taught you about being a host and how you want to continue to grow as a host?
Well, number one, I I love that I have range, and I embrace that I have range, and being able to do a show like this lets me showcase that range, which is amazing, right? Like, I'm just talking personally
Mm,
as a host, because so many of my fellow hosts out there, you included, like, unless you're doing it yourself, it's really hard to showcase all that you can be. And many times we get pigeonholed.
mhm.
And I do Chicago Today, which is one kind of me, which is kind of this happy medium of, we're in a studio a little bit more, and I'm doing the like, oh, this food is good and this is great. And we do quick little 4-minute interviews with a guest, and they leave the stage. And then I do Matt in the morning, and I'm live out in the world. And that's really fun because it's spontaneous, and I'll do crazy things on that. I'll leap off the side of a building live on TV, or I'll be floating down a hot tub in a floating hot tub down the Chicago River live on TV. And that's all great. But then to be able to sit with someone for 2, sometimes 3 hours and have this long conversation, that's this whole other thing. And I'm so grateful that I'm able to dip my toe in all those little pools, right? Of ways you can express yourself. And then the other part of it's okay to ask questions is just the connection that I'm able to have with a guest, and help them shine their story, and help maybe a viewer see something in this person that they really connect with. I'm lucky. I love it. I've been very grateful, and I hope to do more of it in any way I can.
I hope so because you ask everything on that
We
show.
try. I try. I wish sometimes I want to go deeper, and there's still just even a half hour. Sometimes we did a hour episode last year, and we still had to cut things. And there's still great moments. You're like, what? And you're like, you got to think about the viewer won't listen to every goddamn question you have. So,
Is there ever been a question on the show that you're like, oh my God, did I just ask that?
ah, no, I don't think so. No, because I'm pretty. No, there's been nothing that. What I do is I check in with them before, and I check in with them after. And I say, is there anything you don't want to talk about? Is there anything that's too personal? But I set up the idea that the whole title of the show is It's Okay to Ask Questions. So I've had moments, there was only one guest that was like not wanting to talk about the main subject of what we were talking with them, why we had picked them. And I was like, oh my God, like, how can I do this? We might have to cancel the interview. And honestly, because they had challenged me, that episode turned into something totally different, and turned into a conversation that I actually found to be quite beautiful, and one that was really special to me. So there's not much that I've walked away and been like, oh, I shouldn't have asked that, but I'll at the end be like, did I ask anything that was too much? And one, maybe twice, there's been someone who's been like, I shouldn't have talked about my ex-wife like that. And you're like, okay, that's fine. We can cut that out. So, simple things like that. But maybe I'll get there. Who knows? Who
I
knows?
hope
Maybe
so. I'll
I'll
be
get
watching.
there. Yeah.
You you set the stage on the show for other people to tell their stories. And a couple times in a couple episodes, you like alluded to your own story or things that you go through,
Yeah.
but you don't really delve into it very deeply. And I understand because it's about them in that moment. I have to be honest, we've known each other a very long time. I don't know anything about your coming out story. I don't even know if you were out in college. Are you comfortable sharing anything about your coming out?
Well, first of all, I'm offended that you think I'm out. That's kind of rude. No, so I came out. No, I wasn't out in college. I was out at the very end of college. And like to tell the whole story, it's just so it's long, right? It takes time for you to get from point A to point B. And
Mhm.
when you look back, you're like, oh, it was, I did this and I took this class and then I was like, oh, I'm gay to everybody. But it was like years and years and years and years. And in high school, I always say that I was like living in just this kind of bubble and much of college too, of not even thinking about like kind of I wasn't lusting after guys. I wasn't looking at guys and going, "Oh, I'm gay. I'm gay." I just wasn't connected to that part of me.
Mm.
It's very clear I was gay. I went to theater school. I went to Marymount Manhattan College, which they called Fairymount Manhattan College.
I
Gay
loved
by
the
May.
Fairymount call out in one of the episodes.
Fairymount.
I don't remember which one it was, but you were like, "I went to Fairymount," and I was like, "Yes, gay by May."
Yes, gay by May. I was in theater and so involved in high school and all of those things. I dated a lesbian who was kind of actively dating girls at the time, and I kind of knew that, but I just like hid that away and still liked her. And it's just like this whole thing. But long story short, what really started to crack me open were some of my acting and movement classes because I went
Mm.
to theater school, right? And I was taking these acting classes, and I had this one class with Faye Simpson, who was this movement instructor, and she was very much about like what the muscles hold in your shadow self. We have a darker version of ourself and what that is hidden, and I think we all do have that, but to be able to express some other side of yourself was much of the point. That was the point of the class, and there were wild activities that we used to have to do that were very physical, and there was something about the physical movement. And sometimes she'd come up, and this sounds inappropriate, but it was appropriate at the time. She'd like massage you as you were like bent in a certain position, and I slowly watch like kids in the class like cry and break open and be frustrated about their parents or be frustrated about their sexuality. And one day, like she came to me, and I remember her like putting her thumb like in my shoulder, and me being like, and like crying and not know what I was crying about, but it was opening up shit, right? Like I do think the body holds stuff, and something about that started to get my whole energy system moving, right? Like truly your chakras and whatever you want to call it. And I took this trip to Spain, and I was visiting a friend. It's just spring break, and she was in class all day, and I didn't speak Spanish. And I was like wandering around Sevilla, Spain by myself most of the day. And I was like, I think I'm gay. And like, it just was like, there was no romantic hookup. There was no sex on the beach. There was no me drunk at a bar. It was like literally just walking alone and being with myself and probably being open from these classes. And I just like clicked into the space. So I slowly told my friends and family, and no one was that phased except the last people I told were my parents.
Mm.
And when I told my parents, they were quite devastated. They're very religious and always loving to me, but they like it broke them for a moment. They couldn't they couldn't wrap their heads around it. They had grown up in Rhode Island and kind of lived this, I don't, not to downplay it or minimize it, but a very simple life. They didn't go to college. They didn't travel too much. My dad did go travel for the army, but they weren't exposed to much of that. And so I was coming in. They were older for my age, as young as I was. They were older when they had me. That's what I mean. And so I come in and I tell them they're gay. My mom drops to the floor, and my dad's like, that's a sin, and they're crying. And my dad was having heart palpitations and all this stuff. It took some time, but they now love my husband more than me. Like they just are like, Brandon's so great. But it took time, and it took years, and it took discussion. And I feel like it took another second coming out where I came out once and everybody kind of deals with it. And then nobody talks about it for a while. And then you have to go back to them and have this second coming out and say, yo, like, wake up. We're going to talk about this. I'm not going to hide this. We're going to tell your friends. We're going to tell the family. And slowly all those things like broke them open. And I never felt unloved. I always say that. I never felt unloved. I felt misunderstood.
Mm.
And that's a lot better than many people out there and what they experience.
Yeah. Yeah. I had a similar coming out journey, so I completely understand what you're
Yeah, you know, it's a ride, and it's we're lucky to and I don't know where you are with your family, but so lucky to be able to reconnect now in this way as they get older. They're very old now, and health issues are coming into play, and I'm just lucky that we don't have any of that bullshit in the way of us.
Yeah, same, 100%. My parents also love my husband more than me currently, so
Yeah, right. I mean, that's it. Because you and I both we married up.
right, exactly.
We married up.
When I think about journeys, I also think about your host journey because we just talked about it. We both went to school for acting, both went to Fairymount. Um, but when did you discover, when did the light bulb go off for you?
So it was at Fairymount when I was voted to be class speaker at our graduation. I gave this speech, and afterwards, the acting teachers came up to me in the little pod, and they were like, "That was spectacular. Where was that in acting class?" Which made me go like, "Fuck you," but also like, but they were just like, "No, not saying that you were a bad actor, but we just saw something in you that we hadn't seen before. We didn't know." And I was like, "Well, I was just being me. I was just being me and not pretending to be someone else." And that was the first time where I was like, "Oh, I'm better at being myself. Just I'm good at being me in front of people." And then when the crash happened in 2008, I lost my retail job, and that was kind of like a wake up call for me. I was like, "What am I doing out in LA?" I'd moved out here, and I had been pursuing acting, but not the way I should. And when I lost that job, I said, "I'm never going to go back to a full time job like that. Um, I just won't let myself do it because I need to be pursuing acting. I will work part time. I will do whatever I have to do to keep flexibility in my life so I don't get consumed by some stupid job that is not what I really want." And when I made that decision that summer, there was an audition for a local morning hosting gig. I did not get it, but it set me on the track to start auditioning for hosting gigs. And once I made that decision, the gigs started to come and the work started to come.
Anytime I mention you anywhere I am, they're like, "Oh my God, I love him. He's great." It was really interesting for me to watch the show because I think it was the Nick Cave episode where this idea of like comparison and self-doubt came out from you.
Yeah.
And I was like, it shocked me. And it shouldn't because we're all human. But do you still deal with that today, even after all the success you've had?
It's all internal. It's all just up here. I don't think the most people would even know what's going on. That's just this self like comparison. It's more comparison, right? I'm like not looking to take out anyone at the knees, but you can't help but look at someone and go, "Gosh, they're doing that. Oh, they're going viral on their Instagram, and I'm posting this shit all the time and not getting anything." Or how come they're on the Today Show again and I'm not? Or how come they got this job and I'm not? And it's like the blessing of age, the absolute blessing of age is every year I do find that noise gets quieter and quieter. And this year I could say it was like one of the most quiet years where I'm just not letting myself do that like I used to do. Not that I don't want them to achieve what they're achieving. I don't want, and that's like, luckily I feel I don't want to take it away from someone else, but I want to be there too. And that's also ambition too. I think a little of that is drive and a little of that is good because it's like, okay, let's keep going. Let's keep moving. What else can I do? I do want some of that. You don't want it all to go away.
Yeah, for sure, because it drives you, it pushes you. I mean, it's like as someone was telling me, there's the difference between envy and jealousy. So jealousy is like, I want this all to myself, and envy's like, you can have it, but I also want it.
Oh, that's good. I haven't thought of it that way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a good way to
I
like
like
try to
that.
check yourself.
Yeah, so I can be a little envious
Yeah,
sometimes.
yeah. So you can be envious of those like social media posts that are going viral. Which, by the way,
Yeah.
we'll go back. Let's go back to your viral social media post.
Okay. Okay.
Christmas in a cup is
So
on.
stupid.
It is
So
on my
dumb.
feed when I tell you like almost daily. And
Yeah.
just the other day, out of nowhere, my husband's boss texted him the video and was like, "OMG, so me."
Yes.
And
Yes.
he was like, "Oh, that's so funny. We know him." And he was like, no, get out. It was like crazy. It's so
Yes.
viral. But what is the story, the real story behind Christmas in a Cup?
I love that it's warm.
Great for the winter. What do you
Oh,
think?
it's like Christmas in a cup.
It really is.
I'm all about it. Happy holidays, everyone. It's disgusting.
The story behind it, we all knew that that drink did not taste good. It was a warm smoothie. It was this kind of trending thing at the time where there was this trend of seasonal warm smoothies. And we were filming this piece with Michelle Foley, who is in that with me, and Mike Zipkin, and I think my friend Bryce Phillips was behind the camera. And we had to film this, and we had limited time, and we didn't have the right ingredients. And as a professional, I said, let's just film it. I know the drink tastes good. Michelle, you told me it tastes good. I think I had it in another segment we had done like months before. And I was like, let's just make something that looks like it, and I'll drink it, and we'll be done, and everyone can go home. We don't have to go to the grocery store and do all this shit. So she makes it. We film the piece, and I drink the drink, and I like, it's like Christmas in a cup. It's warm, whatever I say. And then it ends, and then there's that beat, and I go, oh my God, that's disgusting. And everybody laughs because they know that I am tasting something that's gross. So, but what amazes me is what people watching that video put onto it. They think I'm lying. They think we're lying to the people. We're trying to pull one over on them. You know, in the beginning, there was like a lot of people who would get mad and write these mean comments about like, this is what's wrong with society and how fake we are. And I'm like, yo, it's not that deep.
No.
It's not that deep. It's not that deep. But most people find joy in it and laugh and share it with their friends and turn it into like, oh girl, that's me. And so I've had a lot of fun with it, and you know, it's great. It's fun.
I don't think it's going anywhere because I saw it this week. It's Wednesday, so I'm
Yes.
sure I saw it the other day. So it's not going anywhere. And I think it works because it's like much of what you do. It's just so honest and funny and just like, it's like you have there's no holds barred with like like the real Matt on TV.
Right.
And I guess that makes me want to ask another question about your visibility. You're out, you're proud, you're hosting this show that's dedicated to the LGBTQI+ community. But then you also, like you mentioned, are doing Matt in the Morning, and you're on Chicago Today, things that are platforms that are a little bit less liberal if you're looking at them with the naked eye.
Yeah.
How do you show up so authentically yourself? And what advice do you have for folks in the community who might be afraid to be authentically themselves wherever it is that they work?
I just never gave anyone else an option. I never tucked my personality away. And now in this job here at NBC Chicago, I will give them full credit. I feel like I am my full self and can say most anything I want to say on air. I've been slapped on the hand a few times by just being probably making a sexual joke. It doesn't matter if you're gay or straight. It's just probably a little too much for morning TV. So we'll get an email here and there, or, you know, my sense of humor can go dark. And I do hold a little bit of that back on TV because I don't want to offend little kids that are up getting ready for school, watching in the morning. And Chicago Today, we push the line there sometimes for sure. But I've just been so freaking lucky with bosses and managers that get me and see how I present myself and want more of it. And they're like, you just keep being you. And that's what we want.
Well, we love to see it, and it's important representation. So thank you for doing that for our community.
Thanks, Evie.
So I want to get to know you even more by playing a quick game.
Okay, do I have to take my clothes off or something? Or?
No, not today.
Okay.
We're going to play an up to speed round. I'm going to ask you a series of questions. I've been playing this with everyone. The current score to beat is 14. These are fast responses. You have 1 minute. First one, New York slice or Chicago deep dish?
Chicago deep dish.
Favorite interview?
Andrea Gibson.
Dream interview?
Oprah in person, not on Zoom.
Most intimidating interview.
I guess Rosie, because I had so much expectation.
What is currently on repeat on your playlist?
Chapel Roan still. Oh God, fuck. I'm like, I don't know. Chapel Roan. Let's
we'll
just
take
say
Chapel Roan
because I'm doing a dance with it.
I love it.
Yeah.
What is early mornings or late nights?
Both, because that's my life with this job.
Would you rather trip on live TV or forget a A-lister's name in front of them?
Probably trip.
LGBTQ icons and divas, Britney or Christina?
Britney.
Britney or Kylie?
Britney.
Britney or RuPaul?
Britney.
Britney or Beyonce?
Britney.
Britney or Lady Gaga?
Oh, Lady Gaga right now.
Oh,
yeah.
you so close. You got 12.
I got 12. Damn it.
So close.
I could be faster. Trust me. Well, this has been great. Congratulations on this. The first season. Are you loving it? Are you loving being able to interview people in this way? And
I am. It's great to just like have these great conversations, flex this muscle every so often, or more often, I should say, and also like get selfishly advice from folks. Like I'm sitting here talking to people that are killing it in their industries, and all this advice just kind of like trickles down. So it's been great.
it's like therapy sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you. And where can people follow you, find you, all the things?
Yeah, so it's Rodrigues Matt on all the socials. So at Rodrigues Matt and Rodrigues with an S. And you can always watch me on NBCChicago.com, streaming, all those kind of things. And Peacock is where It's Okay to Ask Questions airs. And it's up there right now, all 3 seasons, and on YouTube. So if you just type in It's Okay to Ask Questions, the seasons will pop up.
It's so good. Congratulations, Matt, on everything. And thank you so much for sitting with me.
Thank you. Congrats on this.
Hey. All right. That was Matt Rodrigues. And can we talk about envy? I definitely have hair envy. But don't go anywhere just yet. Before we wrap, we need to talk about the internet losing its mind. Beyoncé dropped some clues, and I have some thoughts. Actually, no. We should probably sit for this one. Come on. Okay, here's what's happening. Get into this tea with me, y'all. Beyoncé is in full tease mode. You see, for Valentine's Day, she dropped her Be Mine merch, which was without a doubt rock and roll inspired. Now, we've known, without knowing, that Act 3 was going to be a rock album. She's just now at the point with her Easter egging to let us know that our suspicions might be correct. And you already know that the Beehive does not sleep. Fans are fully locked into this rock theory, but many think that they've cracked the code to the possible title, Black Betty. Now, this is completely unconfirmed, pure internet detective work, but the theory is loud. Why? Well, lots of motorcycle imagery teasing this upcoming era. And what's a nickname for a motorcycle? Black Betty. And for a hot second, there was even a blackbettytour.com domain redirecting to Beyonce's site. It's gone now. Convenient. And if this trilogy is about reclaiming Black influence across genres, rock absolutely belongs in that conversation. Now enter Super Bowl weekend. Days after Super Bowl 60, she posts several images from the weekend. But I'm talking many days after. Nothing this woman does is a mistake. Keep that in mind. She didn't just get busy and forget. She is not one of us. Everything is planned. In that photo dump, people noticed both the US and Puerto Rican flags. Immediately, the fandom said, is she hinting at a collab with Bad Bunny? You mean the most streamed artist globally for 2025? Yeah, that makes sense. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Wait, Puerto Rican music? Rock music? Como? Puerto Rico has had rock influence for decades. In the 1950s and 60s, rock and roll hit the island through radio, movies, and TV. Artists blended those sounds with Caribbean rhythms, and by the late 60s, it became known as La Nueva Ola, the new wave. Rock has been a part of the culture for a long time, and Bad Bunny has already proven that he can bend genres, so a rock-leaning collab, not crazy. But wait, there is more. In that same photo dump, Beyoncé is wearing a lot of leather, and in one shot, she's casually eating a burger. Now stay with me on this one. In the song Telephone, Lady Gaga says, once you kill a cow, you gotta make a burger. And who was a surprise guest during Bad Bunny's Super Bowl performance? Lady Gaga. Also in that photo dump, a black telephone. So now the internet's conspiracy board looks like this. Rock album, Puerto Rican flag, Bad Bunny, Lady Gaga, leather, burgers, telephones, so much. Now, is this all intentional? Probably. Is it full rollout mode for her? Definitely. Has she confirmed any of this? Absolutely not. Question is, are you buying into any of these theories, or does Beyoncé just have us in our paranoid era? That's the show, folks. Huge thank you to Matt Rodrigues for joining me today. If you love this conversation and this deep dive into the Beehive, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications, and share this with anyone looking for career inspiration or just looking to spill tea about the Queen Bee. I'm David, and you are officially up to speed.